Okay, I'm going to show you the first steps of the plugin and also how to add custom meshes. So I started a brand new project. There's nothing in here, just the content folder. The only thing I did is I went to plugins and I activated the Pioneer Mass Strategy System plugin. And also I followed these installation steps, which is just copying these two things into the ini files. That's it, that's all. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to open the content drawer, go to Engine Plugins, and then search for Pioneer. Here it is. I'm gonna add it to favorites for quick access. And here you can just open it and then go to filters and filter by level. So then I can open this demo map here. And then I will just quickly try and see if everything is working correctly. So I'm going to press play. I can see all my units here. I can zoom in and out. I can move the camera. I can rotate the camera. I can select units. I can move them. I can press 1, 2, 3 to get resources. I can create buildings. And I can press F to get my FPS and also C to get into a different camera mode. Okay, looks good. So now, how do you add your own custom meshes? To do that, first of all, I need a custom mesh. And so that you can follow along, I'll just choose a free one from the marketplace. So let's open the content drawer and then click on Fab. And now I'm going to go to 3D, characters, and then choose free. And here I'm just going to select this guy here and click add to project. Okay, let's quickly wait until the download is finished. Okay, cool. So my download finished and I have the guy in my content browser now. So let's close this. And what I want to do now is just create a new folder. Let's call it units. And then inside here, make another folder, call it survival. And here I'm going to put all the files I need. The first file that I need is a data asset. This data asset is used to convert the skeletal mesh to a vertex animated static mesh. So click on data asset here and then search for vertex. Here you can select this one. I'm going to call it DA for data asset and survival. Now when you open that up, we need to fill in a lot of parameters. The first one is the skeletal mesh. So let's find that. I'm going to click on survival man character and then filter by a skeletal mesh. Looks like this is our guy. So I'm just gonna copy him over to my folder. Okay. And then I'm just gonna select him here. The next thing is we need a static mesh. And now to get the static mesh, you can simply open the skeletal mesh and click on make static mesh. Let's call him SM for static mesh survival. And now we have him here. Okay, the next thing we need is the UV channel. So when you open the static mesh and click on UV here, you can see there are currently 2 different UV channels. What I want to do is I want to create a new UV channel here so that I can put my vertex information in, and ideally you would want to use an empty one. So there are 2 that are currently filled, so I would need to create a new one. To do this, there's an editor utility blueprint included in the plugin. So I'm just gonna go and find that. So if I click on the plugin again here and then go to core and then element to texture, you can see the file here. So I'm just quickly gonna copy that as well. And when I open it up, there's only one thing I need to do. Basically, I need to put in the path of my static mesh here. So let's do that by right-clicking him and copy object path. And then I'm going to replace this path here with my survival mesh. Okay. Now I need to right-click and click 1. For some reason I need to do it twice. But once this is done, I can open the static mesh, go to UV, and you can see there's a new UV channel and it's completely empty. That's perfect, that's exactly what we want. Okay, so now I can select the UV channel, which is 2. Then enforce power of 2, I would do. Then precision, I would recommend 16 bits because it looks better. Mode, we're going to use bone. Then we need 3 different textures. To get the textures, you can simply go to the plugin folder, anim to texture, characters, mannequin, materials, bone animation. Oh, actually it's textures, bone animation. And then you can select the 3 textures here and then just copy them over. And then when you select them all, you can right click and batch rename. And we're going to just call them survival underscore. Okay, let's select the first one, second one, and the third one. Okay, next step is animation. So what I want in my case is I want an idle animation. So this one. So I can select this here. And while having it selected, click on animation sequence, add a new one, and then click here to edit. And the second animation is I want a walking animation. So just gonna search for walk. Perfect, that looks good. While having that selected, gonna put that in here. And now I've done the setup of the data asset. Now there's one more step before we can actually convert the mesh. And this is I need to set up the materials here to work correctly for the vertex animation. To do that, just open the material. In this case it's an instance, so we need to find the parent, the real material that it's using. So I'm going to click here and then open it up. Okay, so now you can see this. And now I need to copy a bunch of nodes, which you can find in the plugin folder. So let's go to the content drawer, to our plugin, then animation, texture, characters, mannequins, materials, bone animation. So open this material up. And here the nodes that we want to copy are these 5 here. So this is what we need. So I'm just going to press Ctrl+C to copy them. Then go back to this material and paste the nodes here. And what I need now is I need material attributes. And to get them, I can right click and search for make material attributes. And now I have to just get these nodes to here. So while holding Control, drag and drop the pins to the relevant channels. Now I have material attributes, which I can connect here. And at the end, as the output, I need to click use material attributes here. Now I can connect this. And there's one last step, which is going to the details here and searching for instance. what we want to tick is use with instant static meshes, because that's basically what we're needing. So this material needs to have this enabled. Okay, that's it. Gonna click save. And now if you go back to the mesh, you can see there's like 10 more materials. So basically what you need to do now is to do this step for all of these. I'm just gonna quickly fast forward the video because it's pretty boring, and then catch up later. Okay, so now I've set up all of them. You've also done that. You might have noticed that some of the materials look a bit different, and some of them already used the material attributes. And then obviously it's even easier because you can just connect the nodes directly. Okay, so character is ready. Now let's try it and see if it works. So to do it, just click on the data asset here and then select one animation to texture. Okay, so this can sometimes take a bit, but usually it's just a couple of seconds. It also depends a bit on the number of materials. In this case, it's a lot of materials, so it's taking a bit longer. But there are other characters or meshes which only have like 2 or 3 materials, and then it's usually much faster. Okay, so I think it worked. And when I open the guy, what you should see is he's doing the idle animation in the static mesh asset file. Nice. Looks good. This is exactly what we want. Now, there's like one more step that we need to do here, and this is to enable Nanite. Because without Nanite, we can get a couple of hundreds on the map, but then the GPU starts to get bad, the performance. So ideally we would always want to enable Nanite. It also works without Nanite, but Nanite usually the performance is much better. So let's try that. Just gonna click that and hit apply changes. Now we have to wait a bit for the shaders to run. So the shaders have finished now. And as you can see, there are some issues here with the mesh. The first thing that you would want to do is you would want to disable LURP UVs. That usually helps. Okay, so it's helped a little bit, but we still have some flickering going on. Usually this flickering can be resolved by setting a value at trim relative error. So it's just a bit of fine tweaking. With some meshes, it directly works perfectly, and with other meshes like this, you need to fine tune a bit here. So let's try 0.5. Okay, it's a bit better. Let's try 1. Okay, this is just bad. It's a 0.3. Okay, it's also not that good. I think 0.5 was okay. And there's also other things you can do, like these two, get the precision a bit higher. Let's try that. Okay. Let's try normal precision as well. Okay, this doesn't change anything. Let's see this. Okay. This doesn't really make a difference. Seems like. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else we can do. Okay. So if you have other ideas here, let me know in the comments. For now, I'm just gonna leave him like that. And like I said, it really depends on the mesh. For some meshes, it works really good. For others, it's like not ideal. Like here, you have some stuff here. But yeah, I'm not gonna touch that in the video now, but there for sure are different ways to optimize that further. For now, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, so let's hit save. And now we're almost done. The last step we need to do is we need a new data asset, which is used for the plugin and the mass system. So let's create a data asset. And this one is called entity config. So I'm just gonna say EC for entity config and call it survival. And this is the setup that we need for the guy to work within the mass strategy system. So let's open the config here. It's basically the same thing as with the mass system in general, if you're familiar with that. So we need to add some traits. And I could obviously add all of the traits here directly, but I could also just copy and change what's already there. So I'm actually going to do that. So let's go to the content drawer, open the Pioneer folder, and then go to mass, units, and here I have my entity config for the mannequin. So I'm just going to copy that over to my folder. I'm going to drag and drop it here and say copy. And let's rename that to survival character. Delete this one. And then open it up. So here I have 6 traits. Instance, movement, selection, LOD, avoidance, and navigation. So if you open the instance one, you can see there's a mesh. And this mesh we need to change to our mesh. So I'm going to select him and click here. Current animation idle, this is fine. Here we need to set up the animations. So for this guy we also have an idle animation and a walking animation. What we need is to correctly set up the start and end frame. And to get this information, you can simply go to the data asset of the vertex animation. And if you scroll down here, all the way at the bottom, you have a point called animations. And if you open that up, you can see the start frame and the end frame of the animations. So index 0 is idle, index 1 is walking. So you can just hold shift and right click on end frame. And then hold shift and left click on end frame here to copy the value over. Then I will do the same thing here. Shift right click, shift left click, shift right click, and shift left click. Okay, so now I have the animation set up. Let's save it. Then I have also some metadata. So in this case, the display name, let's call him survival guy. And we could also add a thumbnail, but let's not do that for now. Okay, so now I have my own character set up. And the only thing I need to do now is I can go to the spawners here. And here there's a config called entity type. And here just add the survival character. Okay, let's save it and test it out. All right. So, as you can see, I have my survival characters here. I can select them, and yeah, move around. Let's see how that looks like from a free camera perspective. Nice. Okay. Yep. And that's all you need to do to add your own skeleton meshes. Cool. Looking good. All right. Now there's one more thing I want to show you, and this is adding your own foliage assets. So to do that, we also need some assets. So let's go to Fab again and search for some free assets that we can get. So let's go to 3D and environment and then select free. You can use any assets that you want. I'm just gonna go with these ones here. Click add to project. Yep, let's wait for the download. All right, the download finished, and now I have my beech forest here. So what we need to do is now just go to foliage mode. Here you can see the trees set up, and I can simply go to content drawer now and then select the beech forest folder, and now I can select an asset. Maybe let's start with this rock here. So simply drag and drop the rock here to convert it to foliage. What I need to do is here at component class, I need to select foliage ISM component. This is very important. So select this. Then let's open the asset. This is how it looks like. And quickly check the collision setup. So here I'm gonna look for simple collision. Yeah, this looks fine. So let's just try it out. I would decrease the density a bit to 1. Paint density to here. Let's make it a bit bigger. Okay. We can actually increase the density a bit. And just to make sure that they don't overlap, we can put a radius that they should have in between. Let's just say 500. And then can spawn a couple of these rocks here. Okay, so now what you want to check is when you press P is that they actually affect the navigation mesh like the trees do here. So currently they don't, so there's some setup missing. So let's go here and check for collision. So here it says collision preset no collision. What I want is block all. And everything else looks correct. So let's save this. If we start the game, and here we can also type show navigation. Yeah, it's actually just show navigation. Okay, so at the moment they don't affect the nav mesh yet. So I'm missing some setup. And then let's go here. And oh, okay. So I just needed to regenerate it. Alright, so to fix this, simply select the nav mesh bounce volume here in the outliner, and then just go to brush settings and tick on hollow and tick it off again, and then it just regenerates it. And now you can see it generates a navigation mesh around it. There's some issues here, as you can see. So there's like a nav mesh inside or above the work. To fix this, that's an easy way. Basically, just go back to foliage, select the static mesh, and then scroll down. And here at navigation settings, click on is dynamic obstacle, and then in area class, select nav area null. Then let's save that and go to selection, nav mesh bounce volume, and let's regenerate. And now you can see this is gone. And yeah, they do this perfectly. And by the way, you could do the same thing for the trees here, and then this would also fix this problem here. All right. So now we got that set up. Let's press P and start the game. And let's move our new units here. And we can check if they correctly avoid the rocks here. Let's go into free camera mode. And you can already see they are correctly navigating around the rocks. So if you click here, for example, they split up here, and so on. Okay, perfect. And that's how you can add your own foliage. And yeah, make sure that it works with the navigation mesh. You could now start to add more things, like trees and so on, and it would work exactly the same way as with the rocks. Alright, that's it for this video. See you next time.